Yo, what is going on, you cucumber caterpie? Today, going to be playing some games finally with Sylveon VMAX. Now, I've played quite a bit with Sylveon VMAX up to this point, but I've never really worked on a list myself. I've always kind of taken lists from tournaments that have recently done well. I'm not going to be doing anything different here. This is actually Kaiser's list that they used to win a 140-person tournament the other day with. And the really cool part about this Sylveon VMAX list is something that they've included is the Leafeon V with the greening cells ability that says once during your turn, you may search your deck for a grass energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. So the idea behind this is that we use this on our first turn, and probably only on our first turn, to help accelerate an extra energy into play to kind of get us ahead on the energy in play to kind of make things smoother from there on out. So there's two Leafeon V in here, and then we play two basic grass energy. So we hope we don't have those in our hand, or we don't prize them on our first turn. But if we don't, we get an extra energy in play because we're not going to be doing anything else on our first turn anyways. We're not trying to. Well, sometimes we will actually use Magical Shot to like KO a Sobble, or I guess it's possible we high jump kick into like a Zamazenta or something. But most of the time, we're going to be using the Dream Gift, or if not the Dream Gift, the Greening Cells is a little bit better to use on the first turn to end our turn to get an extra energy in play. So yeah. The really cool part about this list is the Leafeon V. So once again, shout out to Kaiser. Leave their Twitter in the description below for you guys to go check them out over there, and what other Pokemon decks they're going to be, coming out with and building and so on. So yeah, this is the cool part of this build. The other cool part about this build, well, some people think it's cool, some people don't, but I think it's pretty good in the format right now, is Crushing Hammer. And actually, the only change I made to this list is I cut a air balloon for a Fan of Waves. Because I was like, we already got some energy disruption. I always think it's great to try and include a Fan of Waves alongside the Crushing Hammers, because I think it really just, more energy disruption just makes your initial energy disruption that much better and opens up that many more options to kind of lock your opponent out of the game through energy disruption. So not only do we have the 4 Crushing Hammer, we also have the 1 of Fan of Waves in here, which is also searchable from Octillery because it is a rapid strike card. So it makes it that much better to combo alongside Crushing Hammer when we can search out of our deck with the Octillery to kind of get whenever we want potentially. So a great addition to go alongside Crushing Hammer. And then another thing that's really cool about this build, or Sylveon builds in general, that people have including is the Capture Energy. Capture Energy, I talk about it every time it's in a deck. Such a ridiculously strong card. It's just so good. The Capture Energy is just so good. And yeah, whenever you can include it, you definitely want to include, the 4 of them in here because it is such a good card. And yeah, it fits super well into the attack costs of almost all of our Pokemon. Sylveon, 3 colorless. You got the Blaziken, 2 colorless. And then Urshifu is really the only thing that needs a specific type of energy. But if we're going to be G-Max Rapid Flow, we need a Rapid Strike energy anyways to use the G-Max Rapid Flow. And sometimes we are Gale Thrusting, but I feel like more often than not, we're using that G-Max Rapid Flow. So we're going to need the Rapid Strike energy down there anyway. So playing like basic fighting doesn't make a whole ton of sense. So yeah, Capture Energy, insanely broken card. Love that it's included in this build as well. And yeah, the only thing that I like when I looked at this list, I was like, ooh, I want a Fan of Waves because there's Crushing Hammer. The only other thing that I was like thinking about that you could include, and I don't know how good it would actually be or how much it would change the matchup, is you could include a Leafeon VMAX to help maybe against the single strike matchup because the Umbreon is weak to grass. But I think the matchup, it's not necessary because the matchup is definitely fine without it, but it would definitely be something to consider including, or if you ever want to take advantage of the grass typing as an attack, because we can attack with like Leaf Blade, but that's like 3 energy on a Pokemon with 200 HP, so that's probably not going to go very far in most scenarios. So including something like Leafeon VMAX could be very cool to add in here alongside all the other types we're trying to take advantage of as well. And then yeah, nothing too special besides the Leafeon. Got the Crushing Hammers in here. Besides that, pretty straightforward Sylveon build, the 2/2 Octillery, Research Marnie Boss, a couple Karina's Focus in here because of course we want to be able to get those draw supporters a little bit more consistently, just in case we don't have a Research or a Marnie in the hand. We can use Octillery to find the Karina's Focus, of course, which is great. Some Towers of Water. I already went over the Energy Split, Scrapper, a Switch, an Air Balloon. No ribbons, but it feels like everyone's been cutting the ribbons recently because pretty much every deck is playing Tool Scrapper at this point, so there's really no reason to play the ribbons. And if Tool Scrapper starts to go back down in popularity, I'm sure people will try and include the ribbons once again. But yeah, no ribbons in this build. And most builds haven't been playing them recently just because, yeah, everyone's playing Tool Scrapper or Tool Jam or some way to get around them. So there's not that great to include right now. But yeah, this is the build. Once again, shout out to Kaiser. Going to leave their Twitter in the description below. Go ahead and give them a follow. And yeah, congrats on the tournament win. So let's go ahead and try out this list. Let's see if we can get some Turn 1 Greening Cells and maybe some Crushing Hammer heads. Let's get it. Going first here. And our opening hand is actually pretty sick. We don't have... probably going to open up the Sylveon here. We might actually have to go with the Dream Gift here. I really want to go with the Greening Cells and utilize the Leafeon V, but our hand doesn't really have anything going on in it as far as draw support goes, so we really might have to go with the the Dream Gift instead to get a quick ball, which stinks because I want to use the greening cells. No good top deck though, so I think we do have to go with the Dream Gift here. I'm not afraid of getting knocked out here, so let's go with that Dream Gift. Gonna go ahead and get ourselves a quick ball. Crobat is in the deck. Our hand is still pretty just bogged down with bad cards. I don't really have a better way to say this. It's a lot of cards that are kind of stuck in the hand. It looks like we've hit a mirror match here. Yep, there's the Guru. There's a Blaziken. Immediately when I saw the Guru, I was like, it's probably a mirror match. A lot of Sylveon decks do play the Oranguru. My opponent actually attaching to their Urshifu. That seems a little off because, yeah, it's weak to Psychic. I mean, they could have waited. They could have played Marnie, try to get an energy on a Sylveon, but being aggressive with the attachment here, I mean, that just feels a little bit off to me. It feels like a little bit unnecessary. They don't have to attach it. They could have waited to try and get energy on the Sylveon. Now they have to go into the Blaziken for sure to get energy loaded up on the Sylveon. So their attack next turn is probably going to involve the Blaziken. I mean, we'll see for sure. But if I had to guess, that's what I would guess. And yeah, they're going to probably hit up a Strafe here. I guess they could hard retreat, but it doesn't make a ton of sense. So probably going to see the Strafe happen here. I could have also benched the Leafeon still. Definitely a play I could have made would be to bench the Leafeon. I chose not to, because I don't know if I want it on my bench for sure, especially if I'm not using greening cells turn 1, but then I would have to have it on the bench. So yeah, I don't know if I really wanted it on my bench, to be honest. So I didn't bench it because I was like, well, I could put it on the bench, but it doesn't seem like that important to have on the bench right now. That is an interesting top deck. I'm gonna start with the Capture Energy here. We do have the other Auxiliary, so I think I'm still gonna quick ball away this Auxiliary. I'm gonna grab probably another Sylveon V here. I could grab the Blaziken V as well. I might go for the Blaziken V actually. Instead, Urshifu is like not a great grab, but it can be okay in the mirror match. Gonna go with the Blaziken. Gonna go with the Crushing Hammer. We might go for the boss KO. If we can get a boss KO though, we'd want to KO their Sylveon or their Blaziken though, to be honest. KO in the active also doesn't feel too bad, to be honest, as well. So I wouldn't hate just KO in the active. Boss KO, the Remoraid actually would be not bad either. The Fan of Waves is a great hit. Can go ahead and put their energy back in their deck. There's the Fan of Waves already doing work. Gonna give up this. Gonna get the other Sylveon now, because we definitely want to go double Sylveon in this matchup. I mean, if we have to use Blaziken, we will. Or have to use like an Urshifu, I guess we will, but we don't really want to. We whiffed it. So we have the ability to use greening cells, or we can go with a Dream Gift. Dream Gift does get us the Evolution Incense, but we have so many outs left to that. I feel like getting the extra energy in play might be a little bit more beneficial. But we also don't need the energy in play. But if they play Energy Disruption of their own, but I have a feeling they probably don't. Yeah, so I'm kind of stuck here. Dream Gift or greening cells. I could also retreat my Sylveon here. So that way it can't get hit this turn by something like a Blaziken. And I could send up my Blaziken here. And then we'll have to get the stadium to move it, I guess, next turn. And this makes you definitely want to go with the Dream Gift instead then. Yeah, this makes me want to go with the Dream Gift. For sure. Because if I don't go with the Dream Gift here, then we have to get the stadium plus the evolution. But this gets the Artillery, then we play the Marnie. Hopefully we find the evolution or the stadium, and then or the switch card, and then we can find the evolution with that. Another Rapid Strike energy can go on this Sylveon. So it's actually pretty close right now. We're actually in a kind of a close scenario. Yeah, I don't really want to leave. We could also hard retreat this Blaziken next turn. We can go attach, evolve, boss something, KO something off the bench with the boss. That would also be a fine play. So it really depends on what my opponent has here. Here comes the research. But what are they going to attack with? I'm sure they want to attack with Blaziken to accelerate some energy in play. They could hit with Urshifu, but then I just KO the Urshifu. So yeah, here comes the attachment to the Blaziken. And I'm sure Blaziken VMAX is on the way. But the question is, can they get any energy in the discard pile? Because if they don't do that, and then even if they do that, I mean, we could just boss KO their Sylveon. And that really is, that takes away so much of their power on their next turn with a boss KO on their Sylveon. So we're probably going to look for that play here, is boss KO the Sylveon. Because yeah, they really don't, they don't have anything that they can't ever have anything that can like 2-hit KO. So if they don't set up a Sylveon, they can't 2-hit KO my Sylveon. So that sounds pretty good to me. We could also just hit the active though. I could also just hit the active here. That would allow me to play Marnie for the turn. I don't really want to Crushing Hammer them, because then they can just attach another energy and excel that other energy back into play. So I feel like that doesn't do a whole ton. We can save the Crushing Hammer for later. Oops, not that. Get the Artillery. Almost messed up there. Throw this down. Then I could attach active and just guarantee the attachment so I can retreat. I guess that's probably fine overall, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And then we could just hit their active. Like I said, we can just hit their active. Could go for the boss KO on the Sylveon, though. That's what I'm kind of torn on here. Could also boss KO the Artillery which is a big deal for allowing them to continuously like play the game. So boss KO, I also kind of like boss KO Octillery. So many options here. What do I go for? I don't know. I'm definitely stuck on this one. There's so many options here. I don't know which one's correct, but I know Octillery is really good because I like my Octillery. Let's go for... Do I have any energy in the discard pile? I do not. Let's go for the boss on the Octillery. And then the retreat to the Sylveon. And then we have to go with the VMAX off this Rapid Strike Search, but that's no problem. Yeah, let's see how this goes. I have no idea how it's going to go. I know Octillery is just really good to have around. I like my Octillery. I'm sure my opponent likes their Octillery, and so on. So let's KO this Octillery, and let's see if it kind of slows my opponent down. Could have also gone for that KO on the Sylveon, like I mentioned. That's pretty good as well, because they don't really have a clean way to two-hit KO us, but they could just like bench another Sylveon next turn. I don't really have back-to-back boss set up, so then they could just bench another Sylveon. It's not like they're attacking with Sylveon this turn, and they don't plan to anyways. So I think just kind of going like this should be pretty good. I mean, we'll see. Once again, we'll see. It looks like they also play Moltres in here. They don't have any dark energy in the discard pile, so they can't take advantage of the Dire Flame Wings quite yet. I'm sure that means they also play E-Switch. But yeah, it's not going to let them actually set up this turn. Here comes a Marnie from my opponent. Yeah, held on to my Crushing Hammer. Like I said, if I get the Crushing Hammer heads here... Actually, going for a Crushing Hammer here probably would have been fine, because if I'm KOing the Octillery, they not guaranteed another Rapid Strike energy. So to be honest, I probably should have... use the Crushing Hammer there, because they're not guaranteed an energy from the Blaziken. So yeah, I probably should have gone with the Crushing Hammer there. I don't know if I would have got heads. I would have hoped I got heads, and whether or not we get heads would remain to be seen. But I should have gone with... I think I should have actually gone with the Crushing Hammer there. And we'll go with the Crushing Hammer this turn if we do get one. Remove the energy from the Sylveon, kind of take that away as an option. Just gonna hit the Blaziken here. I think that's all we need to do here. Just hit Blaziken, and then we'll play this Capture Energy first, see what we can get. I mean, I probably just want the Leafeon on my bench. I don't really want to bench an Urshifu because it is weak to Psychic. But at this point, maybe it would be fine to have the Urshifu out there. Everything's kind of getting KO'd by the Sylveon anyways. Yeah, let's go for the option of the Urshifu, I guess. That's fine. We do have a boss here, actually, still. We do have a boss. So I could actually go boss, bring up Sylveon, knockout. But I do need to get through a VMAX at some point. Gonna go ahead and use this. Just go ahead and grab the VMAX. I'm like thinking here, and I'm getting timed out, so I don't want to... I think we could just like hit the VMAX, hit the active here, because we need... If we boss and then hit this, we need bosses again. So then if we run out of boss, we're not gonna be able to boss anymore. So I'm just gonna go with the Marnie here. Go through the deck a little bit more. I guess I could have held the hand because it did have the boss. Maybe this is a little bit weaker of a play than I think, because now... And we're gonna get this hit. We have 5 prize cards left. They have 6. We get this hit for 220. Then Chaos with the Moltres if they get the energy and an energy. I could have gone with the boss KO on the Sylveon, because once again, that means they don't have anything besides the Moltres. But then if they go with the Moltres, then we just return KO the Moltres. But then we need another boss because they would go into Blaziken at that point. So we'd still need another boss. We still need like 2 boss pretty much no matter how this game develops. Unless I hit their active, and the active has to stay active to hit again. There's the concede. So apparently the Marnie plus hitting their active was worked out. Apparently the Marnie gave them a complete brick. And who knows, maybe KOing the Octillery like I did gave us that edge. You know, taking away that search every single turn does really hinder your options turn to turn. So I kind of, like I said, I like the Octillery chase there. I'm still not sold that that was the correct play. Looks like it worked out on this one, but in the future, I would still maybe do something different. But it felt pretty good because it is a lot. Like, I just want to take some kind of knockout there. And it just felt like Octillery, removing that from play, because hitting the Blaziken didn't feel like better than taking away the Octillery. Taking away the Octillery severely limits my opponent's options turn to turn. It worked out this time. Who knows how it'll work out in the future, though. All right, here we go again. Getting to go first. So let's see if we can utilize the Leafeon this time around on the first turn. It looks like the hand is a little bit of a struggle. A lot of energy disruption, but that is not going to help us get out a turn 1 attachment, which we really want turn 1, whether that be with the Leafeon or just attaching energy for turn. Yeah, no turn 1 energy attachment. So we might be using Leafeon next turn, to be honest. So let's go with this Dream Gift. And I think I'm just getting a quick ball here because we just really need more options for Pokemon. Leafeon from my opponent. So they're probably playing Leafeon. They're probably not playing Leafeon Sylveon VMAX, but they definitely could be. But yeah, the green sleeves, green deck box, Leafeon start, capture energy. I'm gonna go ahead and assume, yeah, playing Leafeon Inteleon. But we're gonna actually, with the capture energy here, we get a shot to kind of reset our opponent here with the Crushing Hammer and the Fan of Waves. So let's see if we can get a heads. The Fan of Waves guaranteed to remove the capture energy, of course. So the Crushing Hammer heads would be great. No, there's your tail. Still get the Fan of Waves though. put that back in their deck, and then I'm going to go ahead and quick ball away a research before we play a research, and I'm going to go ahead and grab myself a... don't really know what I want here, to be honest. Maybe we could get the Leafeon, actually, and I could switch into it and put the air balloon on it. Actually, I kind of like this play. Air balloon, and I am going to play research. I really want to hit an energy attachment for turn still as well. Got a grass energy, got the rapid strike energy. Rest of the hand kind of stinks, to be honest. Got a crushing hammer though. Hey, no heads. Blaziken down. Probably have to attack with the Sylveon. To be honest, it looks like we kind of have to go with a Dream Gift again. Ooh, I did get rid of my only switch there as well, which does mean my opponent could... maybe I should switch into the Blaziken here. My opponent could go with a... well, they could KO my Blaziken then, which I really don't want to let them do. But if they put down a Galare Mine, I'd be in trouble. If they put down a Galare Mine, that's what I'm scared of here now. The Galare Mine comes down, we can't move the Leafeon. All right, hold up. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? Attach here. Dream Gift for a quick ball for a Crobat. Damn, it seems like that is going to be the way to go. I don't really want to do it, but we don't have any other follow-up in the hand. I don't want to just sit here and dead draw. And this also means we can get the Crobat, which means we can get into, you know, something like, get ourselves a, it's like on the tip of my tongue, Tower of Waters to move the Glare Mine, which allows us to move the Leafeon and, you know, because we have access to the air balloon again. But this could also still go bad. Like, they could still get, like, they could get down like their Tool Jammer or Tool Scrapper and remove our air balloon and then get down a Glare Mine. And then we would need to, if it's a Jammer, we would need our own Scrapper. If they go with the Scrapper, we can't, that doesn't do anything for us. So, yeah, I mean, that would be a little bit annoying. They have some pretty powerful plays here, to be honest. We had a little bit of a slow start. Still plenty of time to make a comeback, though. I feel like that has happened so much with me with this deck, with Sylveon in general. Like, I've played so many games where I'm like, well, I think I lose, and then I end up winning so many times. It happens so frequently, it feels like. I guess they will be able to clean up my Leafeon no matter what, though. They just don't get a KO right now. But maybe I don't really care if they get a knockout right now. So I could have, like, sent up to Urshifu and be like, okay, Glare Mine, get the knockout. And then I just get to get into my Sylveon guaranteed. That might have been the better way to look at this scenario, to be honest, and not really give my opponent the option to kind of almost trap my Leafeon for a turn and then quick shooting KO it on the next turn. Because that is what can happen here. Is they can hit us for, you know, 180 if they get the Glare Mine. They can hit us for 180 and then we're just kind of stuck in the active, and then they can just quick shooting it later on. So maybe I should have gone with something like, you know, retreat to Urshifu and be like, okay, you know, get your 2 prize cards, that's fine, and then I can just get into my Sylveon and start going from there. So that might have been the better play, to be honest. And in this matchup, we just want to run around between VMAXs a lot and make it hard for our opponent to take knockouts. So we're gonna go into the Sylveon here, hopefully on the next turn. Then we can retreat into a Blaziken or Tower Flowing Waters into a Blaziken. Then we hit with Blaziken. So we basically just 2-hit KO the Leafeon, so we just run between Sylveon and Blaziken and Sylveon and Blaziken. So we just want to set up a lot of Sylveons and Blazikens. We can also use Urshifu in this matchup and get a Gale Thrust in there at some point. So just want to be taking a bunch of hits with different VMAXs. They hit that VMAX, it runs away. Force them to have to try and find boss pretty often. And then the Crushing Hammer is also really good in this matchup because they're definitely a deck that plays around, you know, trying to attach an energy every single turn. I mean, they can get that one energy, try and get ahead with that one Greening Cells ability that they use at the beginning of the game. And later in the game, they might have to use one as well, to be honest. But yeah, also now that they're putting a Crobat in play, we can set up like a G-Max Rapid Flow play where we go like KO Crobat plus a Drizzile or Sobble or Drizzile and draw 3 prize cards in a turn. So now there's that is available to us. We can also make plays where we just like we could maybe try to set up for a Blaziken hit. There's the Galare Mine I was talking about, like a Blaziken hit, and then follow up with a G-Max Rapid Flow KO plus KO Drizzile or Sobble, and then it's just like KO a Crobat to close out the game. Here comes that Galare Mine that I was so worried about. And our draw is extremely subpar. This one is not looking good at all now. Can't move our active. No draw supporter. No Crobat. No quick ball. Or staring down a Leafeon. I mean, I guess if they don't hit this turn, we might be in an okay. And the Tool Jammer? You've got to be kidding me. And the Tool Jammer. That's what I was saying. Like, they could get the Tool Jammer. It is a Jammer and not a Scrapper, which is good for us, though, to be honest, because we can scrap that and then go from there. So we haven't just, like, lost the game yet. We're just in a bad spot. And we're going to have to go with a boss here on the Crobat. Try and trap that in the active ourselves. I'll attach my Blaziken and then Dream Gift once again. Get a quick ball. And maybe this quick ball can get us the Crobat. We'll see. But yeah, definitely in a rough spot in this one. And hoping to try and make some kind of comeback. Because that's where we are right now. We're trying to make a comeback here. Yeah, we got the quick ball. Can get the Crobat. Have this Octillery. No Remoraid, unfortunately. We'll probably discard the... I should check my prize cards a little bit there. I don't know if I want to discard the Urshifu VMAX or the Octillery. I probably want to keep the boss because we're already down 2 boss. So we don't want to run out of boss and then have our opponent be able to play around that. Being like, oh, they have no boss left. Free dub. There's the switch. Do they have the boss to go with it? They do. They can chase my Blaziken and knock it out. This does mean we can get into our Sylveon, though, now and attack with our Sylveon. And finally get off this first hit. Also, our opponent didn't attach for turn, which means they're still potentially behind in attachments. And if we get a Crushing Hammer heads, we can really start to pull ahead in that way. I really don't want to bench another Leafeon. That feels pretty bad. Kind of feel like I have to, though. I'm going to go with that Crobat. That was my only Urshifu VMAX, so I probably should discard the Octillery. Yeah, I kind of feel like I have to put this Leafeon down, draw that extra card. It feels important here, and we don't need a full bench in this scenario. Oh, no. All right, Crushing Hammer. Let's get a heads real fast. Okay, got a heads. Removing energy. Remoraid. Throw down the tower, I think, right? Yeah, put down the tower. Still looking pretty rough. Capture out a... another Sylveon V. We do have the Octillery to get ourselves a Karina's Focus next turn. I could retreat to this Leafeon. That doesn't really work. Because they have this Tool Jammer here, which is kind of stopping us. I don't want to use another boss. I think we have to save these bosses for future turns. I mean, I could use a boss here. Oh, man. What do we do here? What do we do? I could retreat to this Sylveon, actually. Maybe that is the move. Retreat to this Sylveon. I don't want to green cells to this Sylveon now, too, do I? Maybe I do. I don't know. This just feels so bad. I want to save this boss, I feel like, but I also kind of want to use it because I could get something stuck in the active here. Let's go after the Crobat again. And then green cells. Get the grass. And I guess it is possible. Yeah, we do have a Karina's Focus in there. Thank goodness. We can throw something active. It is possible that we want to use this to retreat, or now we can just attack with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're doing 190 damage. Yeah, 190 damage is more than enough. So it's okay that we put down the double Leafeon. But yeah, they have no Sobble in play, so they can't get a Drizzile out to like grab, you know, a switch or this or that. So that's also something that's going on here with this boss. Is like it's going to be harder for them to move this and attack this turn. And also attack for relevant damage because they have to get a Galare Mine. They got to get a switch card. They got to get an energy. Right? They need all these things. And if they don't find them, I mean, none of it's happening, right? So, yeah, there's just a greening cells from my opponent. So, ended up working out. Our Stadium stuck in play as well, which is great. So now we can just retreat to the bench. And I could even just go for the knockout here. I can use Octillery to just find the evolution. And I don't want to say we're right back in it because I still feel like we're definitely at a disadvantage overall, especially with the kind of the clunky bench we've unfortunately built up here. I haven't gone out of my way to make my bench super clunky looking and feeling, but it just kind of has developed that way that our bench is not great. Not gonna lie, our bench is not great. There's a Blaziken VMAX, not gonna do a whole ton, and our Urshifu VMAX. I mean, now we have the option of the Urshifu, but once again, not gonna do a whole ton. I maybe shouldn't have benched this Leafeon. Like going back to it, I did get +1 card, but maybe it wasn't worth the trade-off of losing the bench space to get that +1 card. So maybe I should have, not benched this Leafeon. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. They're going to get this first hit on us, unfortunately. And now that they got the Sobble down, they have so many more outs to draw power, right? They got the Level Balls, Evolution Sense, and Drizzile all become outs to whatever they want as far as trainer cards go. So yeah, now that they got the Sobble in play, a little bit more to worry about. But we'll see what they're able to pull off. And we'll see if we can make... I feel like we're still in kind of a comeback scenario here. We're gonna have to just like go for like a 2-hit KO on this Leafeon, or maybe they even get to the other Leafeon. We need to find... I think we need to, like, at this point, I think we need to find Crushing Hammers, and we need to get heads. We only have 1 left. We need to find that Crushing Hammer, and we need to get... excuse me, we need to get a heads to kind of reset that grass energy. And it's possible, actually, like looking at it, if we get rid of this grass energy on my opponent's bench, it's possible they just can't attack with Leafeon anymore. Like if they can't find that last grass energy, they had a pretty good hand there, though. Holy schmoly. But yeah, if we can get rid of this grass energy, that's their 4th grass energy gone. It's possible they just can't get any more grass energy out there. And then they might lose because they just can't attack with another Leafeon. So Crushing Hammer heads will be pretty big. If they play their own Fan of Waves, that is going to be a big deal. Taking away my Rapid Strike energy. So now it makes it harder to want to go get Karina's focus here, and instead I really want to go get that rapid strike energy. I mean, we'll see what we top deck, of course. If we top deck like a research or a Marnie, that would be great. I would love to top deck a research or a Marnie. So let's see what we get. It is a rapid strike energy, so now we can go a little bit more freely and get that Karina's focus. That's great. We have to just plan attack to attack with the active, I think. And Karina's focus for 3 for some more options for the. What the heck is this? The triple evolution incense. All right, well, we'll get out our Sylveon VMAX, I guess. And we're going to get to hit here, but yeah, this is not looking great, not going to lie. Research and Marnie may as well thin this out of the deck. I'll hold on to this other... Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and burn it, just in case they play a Marnie next turn, which I don't really expect them to do, but they might. We're going to go ahead and burn that Evolution as well. All right, we get this hit. 190, but like I said, we need like that Crushing Hammer. We need like top deck Research or Marnie, to be honest. I think we need like top deck Research or Marnie, get the Crushing Hammer, get this KO on the active, or hit into the new one. But if you have to hit into the new Leafeon VMAX, I guess they will open a bench space up for us, so it's not that bad, to be honest. Yeah, I guess it's not that bad if we have to hit into a fresh one, because then we can set up a new VMAX, whether it'll be a Blaziken or an Urshifu. And at this point, if this thing stays in play with 120 HP, I definitely want to go with an Urshifu here, I think. And then go from there. But I really think we need a top deck of Marnie. This is like... I don't think we really have another play to look for. Top deck Marnie basically has to be the move here to have a shot in this one. I guess one play I could have made last turn is I could have gone with like retreat. Well, no, I guess I couldn't have set this up. I didn't have a VMAX and the rapid. Well, I top deck rapid strike energy, so I could have got the VMAX and gone retreat hit with a fresh Sylveon VMAX. But then as soon as they KO that, I have to attack with a Sylveon VMAX, and then I can't set up another fresh strike. So yeah, we basically, like I said, have to top deck Marnie here. Our opponent has to whiff the knockout. I guess Research into Crushing Hammerheads there might do it as well. But I'm less confident in that being enough. So, yeah, Marnie into Crushing Hammerheads would be optimal. It's capture energy, so this is not looking good. Gonna go with the Rapid Strike search. Grab myself... Oh, our last Rapid Strike energy, actually. So we did prize one, so we need to pull that out of the prize cards as well. Attach there, bench Urshifu, and then go ahead and swing with Max Harmony for the knockout. And then my opponent's got a massive hand. Something tells me they probably have Boss to KO my Octillery here. We'll see for sure. Oh, it looks like I prized double Blaziken VMAX, actually. I didn't even realize that until right now. But yeah, do they have the Boss? Probably. But we'll wait and see. Maybe they don't. There's the Drizzile. They're not down any boss. They're down one boss. Maybe they only played 2 and their last one is prized. I could see it. There's a Glare Mine. Okay. And they could already get the win with the Octillery. I feel like they're like lining up my Crobat or my Urshifu or something is what they see here. Or maybe they just don't have the boss. No, they got the boss. I was like, maybe they just don't have the boss. No, they got the boss. There's the Grass Knot. Okay, take an L to the Leafeon. Really just a kind of a wonky start from us. A little bit too slow. And our opponent didn't have the fastest start, but it was kind of us slowing them down with the bosses and stuff. So we were doing like nothing while trying to hope our opponent does less, but they were still getting like an energy attachment every turn. And yeah, no value of the Crushing Hammers as well. So definitely hurt there. Take an L. All right, another coin flip dub, so we will be going first. Hopefully this time we can pull off a turn 1 Greening Cells, and it looks like we can. It's just not to a Sylveon, which is where we want it to be. I'm actually going to open up the Leafeon as well because we have the Air Balloon for it, or I can Air Balloon for it. But an energy to an Urshifu isn't terrible, especially when you're up against the Eternatus. So yeah, just turn 1 Greening Cells, just get an energy on our Urshifu. Yeah, when we're up against Eternatus, this is pretty good. No Sylveon, though. No Sylveon. We still would have liked... I think we would have preferred Sylveon. Anyways, there's a Glare Mine for my opponent, so my Leafeon might be stuck for a turn here as well. And here comes a Marnie. So we're losing our Air Balloon as well. I didn't want to put the Air Balloon down because they could play Jammer or Scrapper, which don't really know what they have. I don't want to make any assumptions on what they would have either, and then be wrong. Going after my Urshifu pretty hard here. Really hard here. They're going after my Urshifu here. Double Goon Pings on it. Then they have Power Excel. 1 card hand. So if it's energy, we know they have a 0. It is energy. Oh my gosh, a 0 card hand from my opponent. We could win this one real fast here. With this quick ball, I almost want to grab the Crobat and just dig really deep here, but I think the Sylveon is also fine. Knowing my opponent has a 0 card hand, we would need like quite a bit. So it feels like it would probably end up being a waste of the Crobat. I'll also get the energy down here. Do that, but if we get switch, take this knockout, whether it's a VMAX or not, I think. Oh my gosh, there we go. What a draw. Got the Stadium replacement. Got 2 Crushing Hammers as well. So if we can just get 1 heads here, remove the energy off the bench, the Air Balloon to the active, the retreat, and then we just get to go. We don't have the VMAX, but 100 Furious Blows will do the job. Knockout on the Eternatus V, and now they're left with absolutely nothing in play. And there is the concede, and we get the dub in this last one. That's going to do it for the games with the Sylveon deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give the video a like. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.